Elite military units represent the pinnacle of military strength, discipline, and specialized skills. These forces are tasked with the most challenging, high-stakes missions, often operating behind enemy lines, in hostile environments, or in extreme conditions. Their rigorous selection processes and intense training regimes are designed to mold individuals into soldiers who can endure physical, mental, and emotional extremes. Here's a detailed look at the world's elite military units and the training that turns recruits into the most effective warriors on the planet. U.S. Navy SEALs. The United States Navy SEALs, sea, air, and land teams are among the most famous and highly regarded special operations forces in the world. They specialize in direct action missions, counterterrorism, reconnaissance, and hostage rescue, often in maritime environments, but capable of operating in any terrain. Selection process. BUD S, Basic Underwater Demolition or SEAL. The initial training phase for SEALs, lasting around 6 months, is notorious for its grueling physical and mental demands. Hell Week. The most infamous part of BUD or S, Hell Week is a 5.5-day period where candidates train for up to 20 hours per day with only a few hours of sleep total. It pushes candidates to their limits in cold, wet, and physically exhausting conditions, simulating the fatigue of real missions. Physical training. SEAL candidates undergo intense physical training that includes long-distance swimming, up to 5 miles in the ocean, running, up to 14 miles on the beach, and various strength-building exercises like pull-ups, push-ups, and obstacle courses. Specialized training. After BUDS, SEALs undergo advanced training to specialize in areas like parachuting, combat diving, and demolitions. SQT, SEAL Qualification Training. Lasting 26 weeks, SQT includes small unit tactics, weapons training, demolition, and close-quarters combat, survival, evasion, resistance, and escape, SEER. SEALs learn how to survive behind enemy lines, evade capture, resist interrogation, and escape from captivity. Missions. SEALs are often tasked with high-profile missions like the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, Operation Neptune Spear. Their adaptability allows them to perform in maritime, jungle, desert, and urban environments. British SAS, Special Air Service. The British SAS is one of the oldest and most respected special forces units in the world. They are known for their expertise in counterterrorism, covert reconnaissance, and direct action. The SAS motto, "Who dares wins," reflects their readiness to take on the most dangerous missions. Selection process. Initial selection. The selection process for the SAS is one of the toughest in the world, with an over 90% failure rate. It takes place over 5 weeks and involves grueling endurance marches, navigation exercises, and tests of mental resilience. Endurance marches. Candidates must carry heavy rucksacks, up to 55 pounds, over rough terrain, often marching 20 to 30 miles a day in the Brecon Beacons, a mountainous region in Wales, all while maintaining strict time limits. After passing initial endurance tests, candidates are sent to the jungle, often in Brunei or Belize. Here, they learn how to operate in one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth while conducting long-range reconnaissance patrols. Resistance to interrogation. SAS candidates are trained to withstand extreme interrogation methods if captured by enemy forces. This involves techniques like stress positions, sleep deprivation, and simulated captivity. The SAS has a long history of counterterrorism operations, including the famous Iranian Embassy Siege in 1980, where SAS commandos stormed the building, rescuing hostages and neutralizing the terrorists. The SAS operates in secret, but is known for critical missions in Iraq, Afghanistan, and counterterrorism operations around the world. Their reconnaissance skills are vital in gathering intelligence behind enemy lines. Russia's Spetsnaz, Special Purpose Forces. Spetsnaz is an umbrella term for Russia's special forces, particularly those under the command of the GRU, Russian Military Intelligence. Spetsnaz forces are known for their brutal training methods and effectiveness in counterterrorism, unconventional warfare, and reconnaissance. Spetsnaz selection is designed to eliminate all but the toughest and most mentally resilient candidates. Candidates undergo extreme endurance tests, including long-distance running, swimming, and survival in sub-zero temperatures. Recruits face hand-to-hand combat scenarios and are expected to engage in martial arts, including Sistema, the Russian martial art focusing on close-quarters combat, speed, and weapon disarming. Spetsnaz operatives are trained to resist interrogation and torture through exposure to extreme physical punishment. This includes beatings and harsh interrogation methods with the goal of making them unbreakable in enemy hands. Operating in Russia's harsh climates, Spetsnaz soldiers are trained to survive and fight in extreme cold, often in Arctic conditions. They learn how to conduct long-range missions in deep snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. Spetsnaz units have operated in Chechnya, Afghanistan, Ukraine, and Syria. Their primary roles include sabotage, reconnaissance, and counterterrorism, often engaging in covert operations behind enemy lines. Israel's Sayeret Matkal. Sayeret Matkal is Israel's elite special forces unit, specializing in intelligence gathering, counterterrorism, hostage rescue, and direct action. Often compared to the U.S. Delta Force or the British SAS, Sayeret Matkal is renowned for its covert operations deep inside enemy territory. The initial selection phase, known as Gibush, is an extremely rigorous test of physical stamina, mental toughness, and leadership under pressure. The multi-day trial pushes candidates to their physical and mental limits, with little rest and continuous stress. Candidates must master navigation in the Negev desert, relying on minimal equipment while covering long distances under time constraints. Counterterrorism. Sayeret Matkal's training focuses heavily on counterterrorism tactics, which include urban warfare, hostage rescue, and close-quarters combat, CQC. Krav Maga. Soldiers are extensively trained in Krav Maga, a martial art developed for the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, that emphasizes real-world self-defense and neutralizing threats quickly. Sayeret Matkal famously executed Operation Entebbe in 1976, rescuing hostages from a hijacked plane in Uganda. The unit specializes in intelligence gathering and preemptive strikes against terrorist targets. U.S. Army Delta Force, 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. Delta Force, officially known as 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, 1st SFODD, is the U.S. Army's premier counterterrorism and hostage rescue unit. It often operates alongside the Navy SEALs in Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC missions, but Delta specializes in direct action, covert missions, and high-profile hostage rescues. Delta Force selection is based heavily on mental and physical endurance, with an emphasis on navigating mountainous terrain and completing long, arduous rucksack marches. Candidates are pushed to their limits with little guidance and minimal rest. Candidates must demonstrate proficiency in land navigation through mountainous terrain under extreme physical and psychological stress, often alone for long periods. Delta Force soldiers are highly trained in marksmanship and CQC. They are taught to eliminate targets quickly and efficiently in confined spaces, such as buildings or aircraft. Delta operators undergo training in tactical driving and using explosives for breaching and sabotage. Delta Force has been involved in numerous high-profile missions, including the capture of Saddam Hussein and the hunt for Osama bin Laden. The unit frequently conducts covert missions in hostile environments around the world. French Foreign Legion. The French Foreign Legion is a unique elite military unit made up of soldiers from all over the world who serve under French command. Known for its toughness and versatility, the Foreign Legion is deployed in some of the most dangerous combat zones, including North Africa and the Middle East. Rigorous screening. Candidates from any nationality can join the French Foreign Legion, but they must pass a series of grueling physical and psychological tests. recruits undergo a demanding 4-month basic training course in France, which includes brutal physical conditioning, long marches, survival skills, and military discipline. Given its history of deployment in Africa and the Middle East, the French Foreign Legion focuses heavily on desert survival, long-range patrols, and ambush tactics. Many legionnaires undergo airborne training, learning how to parachute into hostile environments for covert operations. The French Foreign Legion has been deployed to combat zones like Mali, Afghanistan, and Chad, participating in counterinsurgency, peacekeeping, and direct combat missions. The world's elite military units share a common trait: relentless and grueling training designed to test and develop both physical capabilities and mental resilience. Whether it's the intense endurance required for SAS marches, the extreme underwater training for Navy SEALs, or the psychological and physical toughness of Russia's Spetsnaz, each unit is shaped by unique challenges tailored to their mission sets. These soldiers are the best of the best, trained to endure extreme conditions, operate behind enemy lines, and execute high-risk missions with precision. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support helps us bring you more insightful and inspiring stories. See you next time.